Okay, so this is how I saved Fat Boy Part 1. All right. Now, I need to have it in two different parts because these stories kind of give context to the Albert story, and it takes way too long to tell both of them. So I'll take the opportunity now to give kind of like a public service announcement as well as just some my stories. All right. Cool. So, public service announcement or safety announcement. A. One of the things that like I am very scared of and also like very respectful to, like I don't stay away from it, is open water. All right. And I'm scared of it because I was counting this and at least 4 times it's tried to kill me. All right. Like 4 times. All right. So it's really important that I think that everyone knows, about open water safety. All right. So the year is like 2013, right? I'm 23 years old-ish, right? Young, I'm handsome, and I'm a little out of shape, right? I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little chubby-wubby. The point is, it's our first time going to Bass Lake, and I'm there with Güero, my cousin, right? I'm there with Güero, and we are like splashing around at Bass Lake in the actual lake, and we're like, oh my god, so much fun. And when you go to Bass Lake, you hang out in like these little coves, right? It's just like a little, like, just shoots of the lake, and that's where you hang out. So we're both there, and we're like, hey, let's swim across the cove. Let's swim from one side to another. Now, I'm gonna say that maybe it was like 20, 30, 40 yards from one side of the cove to another. So it's not that far, not like ridiculously big, but not close either. So we start swimming across, right? Boom, boom, boom. And like about the halfway markerish, right? You start to get tired. I was like, oh, I'm getting like really tired, right? So you go to stop and kind of like stand up and you realize there's no bottom, So you're in at least 8 feet of water because I'm not touching nothing, right? And then Güero's like 4 feet, so he's definitely not touching anything. So now it's like, what do you do? Like you can't go back. It's like the same distance going back as going forward, right? So you just kind of keep going. And I'm not like, I was at that point worried. I wasn't scared yet, but I was worried. And we're like hyping each other up now. Like, all right, dude, just keep going. Like, hey man, I'm getting tired. Like, it's fine. Just keep going. And like, I don't know how Güero felt, but I can swear I see it in his eyes, like worried, And so we're just kind of going. And then finally, boom, you like touch something. You're like, oh my god, you can stand up now, right? And like I was beat, and I know we were both like, ha, 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 it was kind of unspoken, but like we almost drowned, right? A little bit more, and we would have been in a really bad situation. And I'm like, I can't even help him because I'm struggling, and what's he gonna help me? So, all right, that was like the first encounter that I had on it, and it was like very scary. So what happens? All throughout that year, I start going to the gym, right? And I start going to the gym with my buddy Andy, and Andy was in water polo. So he's like, hey, we should swim a lot. So I was like, perfect, because I almost drowned, right? So he teaches me how to swim, and now we're very consistent with our workouts, right? So I'm pretty good, right? We are like, I can swim like 150 yards, like boom, 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 in at the like the Olympic sized pool, whatever, right? I get out of the pool, I can do some push-ups, jump back in, keep going. We're getting pretty good, right? So come the next year, right? This is now 2014 Bass Lake. I'm still young, even more handsome, right? And I'm badass at swimming, or so I think, right? So I'm out there, but the beef is now I'm cocky, right? Now it's like, I know I can swim, supposedly, right? So Güero and his buddies and David and all them, they rent a pontoon boat. And so now they're a little bit out there, right? They're kind of getting close to the shore, like we're to the point where you can hear them hooping and hollering, but not that close, right? So I want to say maybe 100 yards, right? Now, I can swim 150 yards, right? So I was like, I'm gonna go over there and be cool and like, just swim to him because I can swim 150 yards, no problem. I could totally make that. So the beef is I'm wearing water shoes, right? Because the bottom of the lake is all gross, and you don't want to touch it with your feet, right? So I jump in there with my water shoes and I start going for it. Boom, 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 and like I'm a good ways out now, and I'm tired. And I'm getting really tired, and I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm like, what the hell? I should be way further than this, right? And I realize it's my water shoes. Like, my water shoes are just literally, they're dragging me down. Like, I'm trying, and it's just slowing me down so much. So now I'm like, okay, well, what do? Like, let me take these off. So I go and I'm in the water, you know, I grab my water shoes, I chuck them, like those are gone, you know, because they're gonna drown me. And now I'm like, I can still make it, right? So now I'm swimming to the boat and I'm being a lot more methodical with it, like just efficient, focus, work. But I'm getting tired. I'm getting really tired, and they are not getting that much closer. I'm like, oh no, I'm in trouble again, right? And now I'm definitely way far from the shore. Like, I ain't making it back to the shore. So I'm going, and luckily there was like just some kids, like, you know, I don't know, Vanessa or Sonia or something like that on the kayak, you know, because there's a bunch of, everyone's out there, you know, so there's just random kids on kayaks and paddle boards and stuff like that. So it just happened to be one, and I grabbed and I was like, come here, you need to come to me. You need to come to me right now. And they're like, what? Like, no, come to me right now. So like I grab onto the kayak and I'm just like, oh my god, and I'm like, hey, let's go towards the boat. And so we go towards the boat, and I finally get there and I pull myself up. I don't even think I pulled myself up. I think like someone helped me like get up, and I just like laid out. Like I'm just like laid out on the deck of this freaking pontoon boat. But like again, I almost drowned. If that, I think by the time I got to the kayak, I still had another 20-25 yards to go, right? And if that kayak wouldn't have been there, I wouldn't have made it. And there's no way that these assholes would have been able to like, oh man, Steve's drowning, let's bring the kayak. No way. All right, so I would have been done. So 2 lessons I learned, right? And it sucks that it took me 2 times, right? That's when I really realized, okay, this is nothing to play with. Like, this will kill you, right? I learned that 1, distance seems a lot closer than it actually is. All right, you always think like, oh, it's not that far. It is that far, okay? And 2, shoes will kill you. All right, they were like drowning me. If you're going out there, if you're gonna swim, you better have like some flippers or no shoes, just because they're gonna drag you down. That's what I learned, like 100%, right? And then also you have to understand, like, well, I can swim. A, no, you can't. All right, I don't care how good you think you are, you're not that good. All right, and B, it's so different swimming in a pool than it is actually open water, like in a lake or in the ocean. Why? Because you don't realize how much you're stopping and taking a break in a pool. You can just stand up, you can grab the coping, there's so many different options. In the water, once you're in the water, there's nothing, right? You just go until you stop, and then once you stop, you die. Like, that's literally it. The water's just trying to kill you the entire time. So that's what I mean by like, it's super important. You cannot take this stuff lightly. Like, every time I go to a lake or to a beach, something like that, I'm always so vigilant. Like, I'm always just like, because I know, like, dude, this thing almost drowned me twice, right? And these people don't know. So that's kind of the context of how I went into Albert's situation. All right, so there you go. Be safe.